The Tabletop TV program is for mature audiences only.
Okay, cameras are rolling. We're live in 3, 2...
Thanks for tuning in to Tabletop TV.
Welcome back to Tabletop TV, the only TV channel where the horror movie usually has more laughing during its runtime than screaming. Last time, we were introduced to our brave party of 3 aboard the Barnum Aquatic Habitat and Research Facility. We were introduced to Ede I, an android who wants to be a real girl, real bad. We were also introduced to Private Cormac Toadvine, a walking pile of debt who, last session, acquired a flamethrower from a gun locker, and the official abbreviation of his rank is PP. And finally, I M04S3, or Mouse, the ship's resident janitor, vent dweller, and health code violation. Together, these 3 celebrated the capture of an elusive creature codenamed Fiji, and subsequently panicked as Fiji's unique radiation killed the ship's lead scientist and also a real douchebag named Paul. But don't worry about him, he had it coming. Fiji rapidly entered adolescence and doubled in size before taking off into the ship's ventilation system, where, unfortunately, Mouse also happened to be. After failing a series of very important roles, Mouse's life now hangs in the balance. Will our rodent rapscallion survive this deadly encounter? Or will Fiji make Swiss cheese out of this janitor's body, sending him straight to rat heaven? Oh, and before we get to the episode, here's one more quick note from your GM and editor. Throughout the runtime of this episode, you may hear players or the GM refer to a map that they're viewing. If you're not missing out on that much. To more accurately track movement through Barnum Station this session, we utilized the handy-dandy Mothership companion app and its map feature. Essentially, we were looking at a couple boxes and lines to help us more accurately track a couple players' locations at pivotal moments during today's session. So, if you hear us referencing an elusive map or placement or rooms that we're moving through, don't worry, you're only missing out on a couple boxes and lines. This episode will still be entirely comprehensible for you, the viewer, who cannot see the map. Now, enough from me. On to the main course, the episode that you came here for in the first place. Welcome back to episode 2 of the Mothership arc. Today I am joined again by...
My name is Borb, and I'm happy to be here.
And who are you playing, Borb?
I am playing Private Cormac Toadvine, a security member of the ship.
My name is Hudson Kirby, and I play I M04S3, otherwise known as Mouse, and I'm about to get wuzzed.
I'm Sid, and I'm playing Ede I, one of the androids on the ship that works in the science and the other things department.
And then, brand new member of the Tabletop TV podcast, debuting, headlining in Session 2 of Mothership. What's your name?
Hello, my name is Colton, and I will be playing Richard Fucqs, an executive of the Barnum Corporation who was attending very important matters last session.
And with that out of the way, let's jump back into the frightening future presented to us by Mothership. Last we left off, Mouse was in a bit of a predicament. As we return to the scene we left last session, and we hear an increasingly loud sound of screaming and ripping and tearing of flesh and viscera as our camera gets closer to the place it left off last time. Mouse, who is currently on his back, splayed out in an air vent. On top of him, Fiji, a despicable creature from the waves brought aboard your sub, who has increased rapidly in size since you first brought them in their infant comatose state. Our camera zooms in on Mouse, and as Fiji rips and tears into Mouse, we get a close-up of his eyes rolling back up into his head. Sound gets fuzzy. Everything surrounding Mouse in our shot gets blurry. And we zoom closer and closer into his pupil as it slides up into the back of his skull, and we only see a white, glossy orb faintly reflected back to us in the reflection of these vacant rodent eyes, is a scene. A scene from long ago. Before us is the Barnum Aquatic Habitat and Research Facility Special Projects Unit of 19 years ago. A slightly familiar, but slightly different scene. We see older models of computer consoles humming obediently at desks. A slightly different cast of scientists move busily between lab stations. Some familiar faces look younger, some older faces that we don't recognize. And we also see a younger Professor Shrew leaning in to get a better look at a test tube about the size of a water cooler. He is concernedly stroking a small goatee growing on his chin, and his body currently obscures the contents of the test tube from our frame. Finally, he stands upright and he turns his head to address a scientist standing at his side. What am I looking at? Well, sir, in attempting to give the rats a more human level of intelligence, that there was a bit of a bug, and we accidentally gave this one a little bit more than just a human's intelligence. Our camera shifts to sit squarely between the heads of the two men, giving us a better view of the interior of the test tube. Floating at its center is what appears to be an infant, covered in fur. Just the hairiest baby you've ever seen in your entire life. And there also appears to be a little nub of a tail sticking out of its butt. Good God, man, it looks almost entirely human, just with a lot more fur. And a little nub of a tail, oh. Will it be sentient? If we're right about how much DNA it shares with a genotypic human, then yes, very. Subject M04S3 will act almost indistinguishably from a normal human. We're so sorry, sir. It's not fully conscious yet. We could save it the trouble of... No. I think the little guy deserves a chance. Barnum's seen weirder genetic compositions run amok in its halls. It might not be much of a childhood home, but Barnum Station will be plenty enough for him. He won't be a child for much time. His projected lifespan is about 25 years. And during that 25th year, I'm sure he'll be grateful you didn't flush him down a toilet. I expect you and the other scientists responsible for this bug to take responsibility. Show subject M04S3 the ropes. Oh, and give him a better name while you're at it. We've been calling him Mouse, sir. No, charming. The two men stroll away to attend other busy work and experiments around the lab, and our shot closes in on this hairy baby, the infant mouse, and its eyes briefly flutter open, recording this moment as one of Mouse's earliest memories. Mouse, in the following scene, I would like you to describe your life as it flashes before your eyes in a brief montage.
Mouse's life, at least the earlier years of it, was primarily under the watchful eye of the scientists upon the Burnham spaceship. His earliest memories are perhaps when he was around 3 months old, when he took his first steps. And he remembers the gleeful faces of all of the scientists. Coming soon after, as he does age at a faster rate than most humans, his first words came at 3.5 months of life. Then, as time progressed, he remembers how hungry he was. In the tube, Mouse was only about an inch in length, perhaps an inch and a half. Not the typical size of a human. But as time wore on, he would eat more and more and continue to grow. And those faces of scientists, which were always gleeful, began to shift. Mouse's main purpose was to act as sort of spyware, someone who could infiltrate a ship and get information that was needed by navigating the vents or things like that, slipping under the radar due to a lack of size. But as Mouse grew, he began to not be able to fit the purpose that he was assigned. And at around 7 years old, news was broken to Mouse that would change his life.
Ah, Mouse, you're here. I'm glad you've come. There's something we have to discuss.
Doctor, what use have you of me?
Well, Mouse, you understand that you are a product of Barnum Industries Research Division, yes?
Of course.
Well, unfortunately, due to a lack of results, our department's funding has been cut.
I was under the impression that I was results, Doctor.
Well, of course you are, though we expected to learn a little bit more.
If your department is cut, what does that mean for me?
You've been offered a role on the ship as a janitor. Of course, if you would like to leave the ship, we're willing to offer severance as compensation.
And upon being referred to as the janitor, Mouse's expression shifts, and he gets a small grin.
The janitor. This I will be.
Oh, and one more thing, Mouse. Due to your unique physiology, your projected life expectancy, well, it doesn't far surpass 25 years.
And you see Mouse's face shift to one of surprise, and then immediately after, one of acceptance. And then we flash back to the present, as Mouse is mounted by a weird, fucked up baby, currently getting mauled to death, and an inner monologue sort of sparks to life as Mouse reflects on his life, which you just saw.
I suppose,
And this is my inner voice.
my life was predetermined to end early, and perhaps I accepted that. Though, I am remorseful of the fact I could not spend more time with my friends.
And Mouse, locked in combat, lunges at the creature once more, and with a swift strike, his hand is severed at the wrist, and he falls unconscious.
Mouse, in your unconscious dreaming, you see various visions and episodes of your life splayed out in front of you. Not chronologically, but randomly edited together like a weird burnt film reel. You see shots of you running through the vents, waking everyone up at 3 a.m. in the morning. Shots of you collecting various knickknacks in a small hovel, stashing away your prized brooms, and listening in on conversations from open grates. And in each one of these visions, you hear a voice growing louder and louder in the background.
Get out! Get out! Get out!
Over and over again. And in each vision, each memory, a set of yellow eyes and a long serpentine tail grows closer to you. Our dream quest ends, and we cut back to the present. Mouse, unconscious, being torn asunder by the beast. Until one final shout over the radio, which 82 can do real quick if you'd like.
Get out, Mouse!
Fiji halts its feeding briefly as it tries to identify the source of the loud sound that was just made. It takes a couple more bites out of Mouse, and as the screaming doesn't stop with each attack that it makes on Mouse, the beast seems to register that the sound is coming from something that it might not be able to eat away from his corpse. Fiji's stomach bursting to the brim, the creature lumbers, dragging Mouse behind it, over to an open vent where it rams its teeth into it and tears open the metal like it's wax paper, discards Mouse's noisy body out into a random room of the sub. The Barnum Aquatic Habitat and Research Facility primarily is home to researchers and traveling merchants or various pirate crews passing through the waves who need a place to stay, but it is also home to a couple high-class luxury suites for various kind of subservience of P-Tech, parent technologies, to stay at when they're here supervising corporate interest at Barnum Station. We cut to the inside of one of these luxury lodging suites, some of the nicest rooms aboard Barnum Station. There's a pneumatic hissing from a large, perfectly smooth, white egg-looking cryopod in the middle of the room, and a door kind of hisses open that was perfectly sealed shut. And Colton, describe your character as they step out in a bathrobe from one of the most relaxing experiences of their life.
So Richard Fucqs, spelled Fucqs, steps out with cucumbers over his eyes, stretching. He's a kind of slender but fit man. Skin is very soft. Hair is perfectly manicured. He steps out, stretches, and just goes, "Oh, another beautiful day. I know that today will be a great day to make some money." He walks over to, chair that he likes to sit in, and he goes, "Computer, can you make me my morning coffee, please?"
Your computer responds, "Sir, it is about 2 p.m. in the afternoon."
Yes, it is. Whatever. Coffee, please.
Right away, Mr. Fuchs. A complicated machine begins to pour you an espresso as you sit back in your very comfortable reclining chair and look at multiple screens that are projecting you very relaxing vistas from suites and penthouses across different planets that you have live camera feeds beaming to you from. You listen to some calming white noise of ocean waves lapping against a beachside, even though you are underwater, and it might not be completely necessary to beam that noise in digitally. And your espresso, bing, finishes, and a steaming cup of coffee is ready for you.
Takes it, pinky out, drinks. I wasn't a big fan of being assigned field work, but it is nice to rough it every once in a while.
This is literally me on work trips, like staying in a nice hotel, being like, "Oh, out in the wilderness of Utah, Salt Lake City."
Has Richard Fuchs ever left his luxury lodging room since he's been stationed at Barnum Sub?
He does. He is obligated by company policy to do the rounds every, amount of time. But he makes sure to have his pre-approved manservant escort him just in case.
Naturally. You can never be too safe. All those dirty pirates docked at the sub bay, you never know what could happen.
Yeah, and all those... He's has seen a lot of just horrible looking people throughout this whole sub, and there's even talk of kind of rat monster that definitely should not be allowed anywhere near this environment.
Richard, as you sip pinky out on your gourmet drink, strange, there seems to be some kind of bug with your white noise system. You're getting weird feedback loops and hearing distant echoes of a sound that doesn't sound like a palm tree beach. Off in the distance, you hear... As it gets closer, you realize it's definitely not a bug in your software, but a sound that's physically coming from an air vent overhead. Richard Fuchs, right as you are about to take the last sip of your incredible espresso that has one of those coffee foam art things on the top of it, That is the logo of Parent Technologies, kind of the corporate overlord that owns Barnum Industries and the whole Barnum station. Right as you're going to take that last sip, bursting through the vents overhead is the bloodied corpse of Mouse.
I think he instantly throws his coffee and just lets out a wild feminine scream.
Gushing truly so much blood for a creature of this size. This is definitely the rat monster you've heard of, but you also notice that it is dying quickly. Also, alarmingly, you look up into the vent overhead and see a pair of beady yellow eyes looking out of it that quickly scuttle away down the vent in a different direction. Richard Fuchs, what do you do?
Well, this certainly isn't up to code in the Barnum Industries handbook. I have to contact somebody about this. Oh, dear. I think he goes to, like, some emergency keypad and starts furiously typing in a security code to have something happen.
Fantastic. You walk over to a console. Your room, you kind of have like an admin suite, so you have access to the ship's computers. You have access to all the channels. You can contact security. You could contact the ship's like main loudspeakers to talk to everybody. You can send off a message to any frequency you'd like to.
I think he just hijacks all of the comms throughout the entire ship and just goes, excuse me, something unacceptable has occurred here. There's some sort of disgusting bloody fur bag that has fallen from the vents. Please, somebody, is there a janitor on duty that can perhaps clean this up?
You gotta say over when you're done talking. Over.
Look, whoever you, just come clean it up. Over.
Where are you, over?
I'm at the only place that I'm really ever at. My luxury suites. Thank you. Over.
On my way. Over.
Cool. As that message is beamed out to literally the entire ship, 82 and PP Cormac Toadvine, you are both made immediately aware of the location of Mouse's dying body. Both of you are in the locations. I have placed you on the map. And one last thing that's important to note before we begin what is effectively going to be a combat sequence. I'm going to pace this out in rounds. Richard Fuchs, your computer, quite an advanced little thing, does a quick scan of Mouse's dying body and hits you with a quick, rough diagnostic. It appears to be in quite bad shape. It has a minute to live at best.
Oh,
Medical
Christ.
assistance is required immediately. To reveal to the entire party the results of Mouse's death save, he rolled a 2, which on the Mothership death save chart means that he gets D5 rounds before he is permanently dead. I rolled a D5 and got 5, meaning there are 50 seconds until Mouse is permanently removed from play. Which is why we are going to enter kind of a round-based mode here to track out the rounds. Both of you receive this information at the same time. You realize that Mouse needs a stim pack or a doctor or something to give him hit points back, and quickly. Mouse, you have fleeting amounts of consciousness. You are dipping in and out of a dream state, and you look up to behold Richard Fuchs standing over you in a bathrobe.
Are you an angel?
Oh my god, it's talking. Computer, why do you say medical assistant? Shouldn't we be killing this thing? Does this thing offer any kind of company value?
I am the janitor.
What? Computer, please, give me diagnosis, give me rundown. What is? This is not blood.
Cool. With that information, what does everybody want to do? Each of you, kind of excluding Mouse here, can move and do a thing in a round, essentially. If you'd like to move further, propose to me how, and we'll make it a check. Both of you are in the locations on the map as seen. You can move one room for free unless there's some kind of difficult terrain or other event happening in the room that would slow you down.
I have a quick question.
What's up?
Are there, like, stim packs mounted on the walls like AEDs?
I will say, stim packs aren't everywhere in the ship because they're expensive and quite addictive. But PP Cormac Toadvine, you are right next to the med bay, which you know is chock full of most of Barnum Station's stim packs.
And do I know how to administer a stim pack?
It is not a complicated procedure. It is a drug that is injected into a person's veins.
Okay, sweet. Then PP will take matters into his own hands and dash into the med bay and grab a stim pack.
Cool. You dash into the med bay. Sprinting through, you see a couple scientists still running kind of an autopsy on Dr. Shrew's body. You are immediately kind of screened by a doctor who seems ridiculously concerned that you're barging into a hospital and trying to grab equipment. Goes, whoa there, PP, slow your hustle. What's wrong, buddy?
I have clearance. There's a dying man in the luxury cabin. But it's not the one you think. I grab a stim pack off the wall, backhand a doctor, and shout, follow me.
Go out of his way to do it.
Yeah, I run across the room, backhand a doctor, run back. I get my flamethrower going again. Follow me if you want him to live. And I'm gonna sprint as far as I can back to the cabin.
Cool. We'll call it a speed if you want to get any further this round.
Yeah, let me roll.
Yeah. So a turn in Mothership is 10 seconds for the record, which is why 50 seconds would equal 5 rounds here. You do spend 6 of those seconds sprinting across the med bay to backhand a doctor and rev up your flamethrower.
Yes.
So the speed check is to determine how efficiently you use those last 4.
Probably don't have any relevant skills unless you count athletics.
Honestly, athletics feels appropriate for just trying to like muscle your way through a crowded room while moving fast.
Dope, Liddy. As you can see, I have rolled a 7. I hope you can see that on the app.
Let me see. I can. Using the fantastic magic of the Mothership Companion app, now available on browser, I am able to see that PP Cormac Toadvine rolled a 7, which is a success on his athletics check. And then this is where we'll do the cutaway to the ad break if kind of the sponsorship deal goes through.
Out of my way.
Cool. On the successful athletics check, you barge through the med bay, smash a break in case of emergency glass panel, snatch a stim pack, sprint the other direction with a stim pack in one hand and an ignited flamethrower in the other. You are able to, in one round, barge into the med bay and then barge back out into this hallway. That's what that successful speed check does for you. It gets you an extra room of movement.
Awesome.
Cool. 82 or Richard Fuchs. Either of you can go next.
I'll do it.
I'm gonna save you, Mouse.
Are there stim packs in the special projects unit as well?
If there are, they're less readily available than in the med bay. This would maybe be an
Okay.
intellect check of some kind to be like, I know where the med packs are stored.
No, I think 82 will just run and be like, I will figure it out. And me being the player knows that I'm going to run into PP eventually, so it'll be okay. So I would just like to run as far as possible this round.
Cool. That's also going to be speed.
Okay. This feels like it's probably a math check, because I'm figuring out how far I can run if I run a certain speed. No, I will run a regular speed check. I failed.
No, shit. Okay. Here's what a failure looks like. 82. You burst out of the special projects unit. I think this extra point of stress you take from failing the check does come from the horrible noises you're hearing over the walkie-talkie as Mouse is kind of like sitting on the button right now while bleeding out.
Are you the voice that whispers to me in the vents? My angel of music.
Mouse! Hold on, Mouse! 82 is having a very emotional
Angel
moment.
of music, guide and guardian, grant to me your glory.
82, this slows you down significantly as you're running out through the hallway, as something crazy begins to happen kind of in your code. Your circuit boards begin to fire in a way they haven't before, as you maybe begin to feel the burgeoning emotion of sadness.
Yeah, what is happening?
Cool. You burst out into the hallway. A bunch of alarmed scientists are also kind of moving out of your way as you shoulder and elbow through. And that, we'll say, will be the end of your turn there. Richard Fuchs. What do you think Richard Fuchs does here?
I think Richard Fuchs is on his computer desperately looking on the employee roster, finding Mouse's employee profile, and like furiously trying to cross-reference all of his information to determine how valuable Mouse is to the company and if he's worth saving.
Cool. Give me an intellect check.
Okay.
Mothership companion app. Trademark.
Angel of music, hide no longer. Secret and strange. Angel.
As you are serenaded by Mouse's dying chorus, you are basically going to the like company attendance list and like payroll software, just kind of scrolling through people, looking at the paycheck of a janitor.
See, this is his salary. This is his 401k contribution. Insurance, none. Good. Let's see.
I think on a success, the useful information you get here is that he is considered as a human on the ship payroll. He is paid the same as the other humans, and also the same as previous janitors, which would imply to you that he is perhaps not subhuman. Whether that lands or not for Richard Fuchs is a character decision. I think you also discover that Mouse is something of a veteran employee.
Okay.
Hey, quick question. Do androids get paid the same as humans, too?
82, I believe you are unfortunately the exception to the rule.
Oh. I was going to say, is it because I'm a girl, kind of?
You do receive a paycheck, but it's mostly because of your insistence to receive a paycheck to Dr. Shrew, who is pretty lenient and open-hearted when it comes to giving fair treatment to all products of the laboratory, whether or not they're human, android, or a genetic experiment. Most of the other androids do not receive a paycheck.
It's terrible. I'm going to start a resistance once we take care of this creature and save Mouse.
Cool. That is a round. Mouse, you're slipping.
In sleep he sang to me. In dreams he came.
Cool.
Has everyone here watched The Phantom of the Opera?
No.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Cool. Awesome. I've got a 50%.
Completely in the dark as to what's happening here, but it's quite funny to watch unfold.
It's required viewing, Reed.
Top the next round. We'll go in the same order. Toadvine, you are sprinting down a hallway. Flamethrower one hand. You've got a stim pack under the other. Where are you headed?
I'm doing the mental calculations and I'm not going to make it. So I'm going to radio to 82 and say, 82, open all the doors between me and the luxury cabin. I'm going to make it, but it's going to be tight.
You have to say over when you are done.
Over. Fuck.
Yes, Fifi, I will do anything to save Mouse. She's kind of like choking up on her words.
Over the radio, you also hear like screaming and the sounds of flamethrower going off.
82, you can go up first here if you'd like.
Yeah, I would like to use my brain and open all the doors so that he can run faster.
Cool. Definitely an intellect as you run up to the nearest console and kind of plug a wire in from the back of your head into the ship's mainframe.
This feels like I'm hacking something, personally.
Absolutely.
Woo-hoo. I failed.
Oh, no.
Does it count as hacking if it's yourself?
It's like I'm using myself to hack.
Like, I don't have to roll a check when I move my arm.
If you think about it, it shouldn't be a check at all.
Yeah, I really should just succeed.
Here's what I'll say. Mothership, is very vocal in the rulebook about failures sometimes being successes, but with a cost. I think this could be one of those moments for sure.
Yeah, I'll take it.
82, you jam into the ship console and begin opening just as many doors as you can. You don't exactly know where PP Cormac Toadvine is geographically in the ship, so to be certain, you open as many doors as you can.
Awesome.
As you are, for the first time, flushed with emotions, and you plug into a computer and attempt to subtly manipulate a couple doors in the ship, you accidentally open every single door simultaneously.
Yay, that's fine.
We cut down to the mess hall, where people using the lavatories are suddenly exposed to the general public, just kind of dicks and butts out. We cut down to the ship.
Dude, no way, dicks and butts?
It's like, are they the sex
The two
labs?
genders.
We also cut down to the ship holding facility, where cell doors are opened and Captain Plub Crimming is released back into the ship.
No!
Let him. I'll deal with him later.
PP Cormac Toadvine, I have good news. There are no doors between you and Mouse.
I would like to make another athletics check to get there as fast as I can.
Cool. You can roll this with advantage because of what 82 did. That means roll a d100 twice and take the lower roll.
Actually, Reed, I'm just going to hit the advantage button on my wonderful Mothership app.
Companion app.
Wow. And how much did the Mothership Companion app cost for you to download?
You know, I've been going through my bank statements, trying to find the enormous cost that I incurred to download this wonderful app, but it seems like my bank statement was not affected at all, as though I paid zero money for it. It's the damnedest thing.
I paid $4.
What'd you say, Hudson?
Hudson bought the reasonably priced downloadable content for the Mothership Companion app, costing only $4 American for unlimited characters.
Oh, it's only $4?
It's only $4.
That's
Only
crazy.
$4?
Did you say unlimited characters?
Okay, Colton, let's chill out.
I'm gonna be talking to the Mothership Reddit moderators. I'm gonna be talking to the developers. I'm gonna get in some DMs. I'm gonna get us that sponsorship. Anyway, cutting back to Mouse dying. That is a success. PP Cormac.
It's a good thing that my master plan worked and that 82 opened the doors, because I wouldn't have succeeded otherwise.
Hey, very cool. So with that, you move 2 rooms. You can choose to go down the ladder and through kind of the common area or through Barnum Mega Lab here.
I'm going to go through the common area. I think my skills are more suited to navigating that sort of space down the Mega Lab.
You sprint down the hallway,
Shoot gun.
whip around a corner, and both of your you kind of like tuck a stim pack under your armpit that's holding the flamethrower and use your other arm to just slide down the ladder quickly, descending to the first floor. Trailing behind you are multiple confused doctors shouting, Wait, is the corporate overseer dying?
Yes!
One of them shouts, maybe let him. And then you kind of slip away down the ladder, down to here. I'm going to move you around. And then you move one more into Barnum Commons. Barnum Commons is currently chaos. There are multiple people waiting in long lines outside of help desks. You see the conversation happening at one of these is a concerned woman and her child talking to a man at the help desk going, we were in our room and we heard screaming. We heard screaming coming from our air conditioning, and we're just really worried about, I would just like to speak to someone higher up in the chain of command if that's okay.
Move!
Barging through with your flamethrower, dispersing concerned families.
I am hurdling children. I am throwing mothers out of the way.
Incredible. You are throwing mothers across the ship, if you will. Yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty top shelf stuff. You also...
I think I'm stupid. I actually don't get that.
I just said
Mothership,
mother and then ship in
girl.
the same sentence. It wasn't that, yeah.
Speaking of Mothership, let's talk about that companion app.
Mouse bleeding emerging out from the grave, sits upright and looks at the camera.
Companion up.
I hate to interrupt your regularly scheduled horror film. However,
Listen, the Tabletop TV network has to make a buck somehow. There's also a lot of chaos happening in the comments because of the multi-door opening thing that happened. There are some pirates who are now running loose in the ship, which we'll get back to next round. Cool. Richard Fuchs, you have determined the net worth of Mouse, his salary, his 401k. What do you do with this information?
I think Richard he's pacing back and forth and goes, okay, so it appears that if I don't save your life, it will cost the company approximately $27. So I think it will be worth it. But here's the thing. I really don't want to touch you right now. He's speaking to Mouse. His Mouse is just dying in front of him. And here's the thing. He taps a button on the wall. First aid kit that is in my inventory comes out, and he goes, "So can you like just do it?" And he like tosses the first aid kit, and I think it hits Mouse in the face.
That kills him.
Am I so vile that even an angel refuses to touch me?
Oh, please don't take that much offense. I would never touch 99% of the people on this ship. Are you a person?
It is complicated.
Don't worry, Mouse, the devil is on his way.
Angel, I only have one hand. Can you open the box for me?
And I sort of bat it in his direction so he doesn't have to be close to me.
I think Richard Fuchs doesn't want to touch the now bloody first aid kit with his hands, and so he gets a fork and spoon that were being prepared for his breakfast and tries to use those to open the first aid kit so he doesn't have to touch it.
Intelligence check.
I won't make you make one, but if you want to make one, you can.
That voice which calls to me and speaks my name.
I have made a check, intellect check. It was a success.
Oh yeah, and using the Mothership companion app, I was able to tell the result of your check from the comfort of my computer screen.
From my own mind.
From the comfort of my own mind. Using some fine china cutlery, you were able to open the first aid kit, getting you one step closer to giving Mouse medical treatment. That is the end of your turn. There's kind of a reason where I figured it wouldn't take away from the intensity of this encounter to put Richard Fuchs in the same room as Mouse who's dying. Cool. Round 3. PP Cormac Toadvine, you're charging through the Barnum Commons, and 82, you are still upstairs, plugged into a terminal.
Go ahead, boss.
It's been what, 2 rounds out of
Yes.
5?
Okay.
I'm going to run one room.
Just one?
I'm afraid that if I fail a check, I'll break my ankle and not make it in time.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to take a leisurely stroll into the commerce and trade room. Is the door to the luxury cabin unlocked?
Because of what 82 did, yes.
Of course.
You're going to be upset at me. Navigating Barnum Commons is going to require a check of some type to get around the pandemonium.
Could I convince you to have this be an intellect, perhaps military training check?
Depends on how you describe it to me.
So, Toadvine is not a real, member of the military.
No stolen valor here.
The suit that he wears is, I think, programmed with a certain amount of information. And I think that he's going to try to tap in to this military, expertise to maneuver this room, crowd control, etc., to get through as quickly as possible.
You've sold me.
Oh, yeah. Sold you enough for advantage?
Because the doors are open, I'll give you advantage on this.
Let's go.
I'll stick to a previous ruling.
So persuasive. That's a that's a success.
Did you roll it on
That's
the
a
app?
success by a small amount. I did roll it on the app.
Cool. You managed.
Every single thing that I persuaded Reed to give me mattered.
You are able to deftly navigate Barnum Commons. More difficult than you thought it was going to be. At first, you just navigate around a couple lines of concerned station goers, but then there is a small, very rowdy vocal group of pirates who seem to be storming the brig to rescue Captain Plub Crimming, who recognize you as the man who did their captain in, and quickly kind of, some of them seem to hesitantly reach for firearms, but with a glare, with a look, you are able to intimidate them into submission as you sprint by.
With my flamethrower going and my enormous amount of firepower rattling around on my body, I will move past them.
One of them reaches for a sidearm, and another one goes, "Don't you know who that is? That's Private Cormac Toadvine. Also, he's got a flamethrower. We would die quickly."
You're goddamn right.
Moving into commerce and trade, it's much less chaotic here. Commerce and trade is where furniture starts to get nicer. A lot of the amenities start to get more expensive. Many of the installments are much more corporate, kind of shiny and new. A lot less of a crowd here. It seems like all of the big spenders who were here are maybe in the sub bay, prepared to leave on private submarines that they came here on. Cool. 82, what's up with you?
I think I'm gonna try to run as far as possible.
Awesome. Feels pretty straightforward. That feels like speed.
Where's my little roll button? There it is. Certainly, I won't fail this one. Do I get an advantage since all the doors are open?
Yeah.
Yeah!
Because it was a clever, fun thing I liked.
I succeeded really well, and I'm glad I got an advantage because my first roll was a 93.
Holy shit.
My second one is an 8.
On a success, move 2 rooms. I will say, as you move through Barnum Megalab, you hear a loud thumping coming from the vents overhead.
I'm ignoring it.
Okay. You do hear it going in a general direction as you sprint past. It's kind of a split-second reaction thing, but you do hear headed a direction through a vent overhead. So it's up to you whether or not...
Wait, which direction? I do want to pay attention to which direction it's running.
While you're running through, you hear it is moving diagonally, and so like northeast in compass terms on the map you're looking at. And I will say, I'll unveil something on the Mothership companion app map I've created. You imagine that would be moving through that ventilation shaft overhead.
Wow. Yet another wonderful feature of this magnificent app. Hudson, how much did you say this cost?
Well, that depends on what avenue you want to go down. If you want unlimited characters, it's a one-time payment of $4. However, if you just want to use the app, it's completely free.
That's pretty exciting.
And it's allowed on mobile and web browsers. It's so accessible!
You gotta be kidding me. There's no way that's true.
The Phantom of the Opera is here. Inside my mind.
We cut back down to Richard Fuchs, who is standing over an open first aid kit holding a fork and a knife. I have a question. Does Richard Fuchs know how to administer first aid?
I don't think he does. I don't think he knows how to do much other than type words into a Excel spreadsheet and email people, and then also boss people around.
Cool. What does Richard Fuchs do in this moment?
I think he looks up and goes, "Computer, are you able to do this for me?"
No, with my software and hardware, I am currently unable to perform life-saving surgery on an individual spread out on your carpet. I apologize, Mr. Fuchs.
Fuck. Okay. Listen, creature. Good news, bad news. Good news. Open first aid kit. voila. He like puts it just kind of like in arm's reach of Mouse and goes, okay, bad news. I don't really know what I'm doing. This is not in my job description, and it would require a lot of paperwork to kind of like authorize me to do medical work on another Barnum Industry employee. So I think I, am going to have the grace to look the other way and allow you to operate on yourself, which is not company regulation, but I think in this case, we can keep it a little secret, okay? All right, have fun.
Mouse very gingerly tries to reach towards the box, but his hand falters and flops to the ground halfway, and he goes,
Wait, please. I am asking you from the depths of my heart. I am too weak to do this. Angel, please! Do not desert me in my hour of need.
Cool.
I don't know if is there a role I can do? Can I do like a fear save or something to see if I have the mental fortitude to try and do this?
Yeah, you can
taking a stress roll.
You can always opt into a fear save. I'm down.
Okay. I don't think I have any skill. I have psychology as a skill. I don't think that really would boost anything, would it?
No, not really.
Okay. Let's see what happens. I crit fail.
Woo!
Oh no. Cool. A critical failure.
yeah.
Maybe one of the first of those we've seen this game.
He locks the door.
Fuck, that would be tragic if Richard Fucks kills Mouse because he's a little bit nervous about corporate. Okay, I think what a critical failure looks like here. You take that point of stress. Will you roll a panic check for me, Richard Fuchs? You can do this via the app or with a D20.
Okay, I got a 10, which was a success.
Incredible.
Woo!
Your panic roll is successful. Your fear save is a failure, meaning you take a point of stress.
Okay.
I think you're able to keep yourself mostly composed. However, anytime you touch Mouse for the rest of the session, you will incur a point of stress.
Okay.
That is the condition I am imposing on you. I don't know I think you have notes under your Mothership companion app character. I could be wrong.
Do, because it is an incredibly useful and helpful app.
Awesome.
It's really well designed.
Round 4. Cormac Toadvine. You are right outside luxury lodging. You hear feminine, high-pitched screaming coming from the inside of one of the rooms.
I charge into the room.
Charging into luxury lodging. It's laid out similarly to crew quarters with doors on either side, except they're much further spaced apart, implicating bigger rooms. Veering around a sharp left turn into the room of one Richard Fuchs, you see Mouse bleeding out, looking very, very, very bad on the floor. Having about, ballpark, 20 seconds to live, 10 seconds to live, somewhere in between there. Stim pack underhand. What do you do?
I turn the corner at top speed, running on the wall a little bit. I dive across the room with the stim pack needle held out in front of me and slide, sticking it into Mouse's neck.
Cool. Mouse. As the injection is pushed into your system and a flood of chemicals fills your body, you feel the familiar rush of a stim pack dosage bringing you back to consciousness, and you are able to formulate thoughts more coherently than before.
Oh, I should have been told that I can't formulate thoughts. I've been singing the Phantom of the Opera.
Honestly,
No, I think that's
it was
appropriate.
Mechanically, here's what happens. You get a D10 health back, and I just rolled a 10 on your D10. You can put a 10 under your health on your sheet. You are going to... oh, shit. Well, I have another D10 to roll. Stim packs are crazy. And for the next 4 minutes, you have advantage on all rolls you make. Because of the high, you're getting from the stim pack.
Wow.
I
Zooey mama.
That's the good news. The bad news is that you are still under the bleeding 4 condition, which we determined you had incurred from the creature during our off-screen rules debacle, meaning you are going to lose 4 hit points every round until you receive official medical treatment from a real doctor.
Oh, first off, PP, thank you. I feel amazing.
Don't you die on me, you hairy little fuck. I'm gonna grab the fucking...
Second thing.
I put forward my nub of an arm.
I know, I saw the blood the second I came. It's kind of everywhere.
Oh, I have made a mess.
Can you remove this thing? It's my beautiful white
the fuck up,
carpet
shut the fuck
is ruined.
Here's what I'll say. The main challenge was making it to Mouse's room because now all the doors are open and the trail has kind of been blazed. I'm going to call it one last total speed check to see how quickly you can rush Mouse to the med bay. Failure does not mean Mouse's death. Failure just means incurring an additional complication with Mouse's medical state.
It would probably be faster if I go through the vents.
Mouse, you are conscious. You're going to die soon.
I
but you, like...
feel awesome.
You're riding a crazy high for the next couple rounds until this is all going to crash hard down on you.
Scurries through the vents, and then there's just a blood coming out of random vents throughout the ship.
Yeah, so I think it's just about how do you think, what does it look like as you cart Mouse back to the med bay?
Oh, I thought he was going through the vents.
Shit, yeah, Mouse, do you want to go through the vents?
If nobody stops me, I will, but there's a monster in there. But my character would. Please stop me.
No, Mouse.
No, go ahead, go through the vents. Go into the vents for me.
I will do
I
it.
grab him by the scruff of his neck, and I hurl him at the doctors.
Cool.
And I say, get this man to the medical bay. And then I'm about to follow him, but then I say, let me get that for you, sir. And my mop arm attachment comes out, and I begin cleaning the carpet in Richard Fucks' room.
Please, it's Fuchs. But thank you, private.
There's like a high-pitched whir, and their smoke starts coming out of my suit, and I go,
You're just fighting the constraints of your metal cage. The software in your brain getting you to clean up your corporate overlord's carpet.
Toadvine has been zapped from the inside.
Cool. I completely forgot about the 2 doctors you had trail you from the med bay. Honestly, I'm going to say bring the medical professionals down with you. These 2 are going to make a quick roll. Incredible. That is going to bring an end to the round-by-round thing we were doing. We're going to kind of exit a formal initiative.
Oh, thank God.
The doctors, holding Mouse, run through the station, leaving a trail of blood and probably not important bits behind through the hallway. They run into the elevator, and they flip open a secret button that says Turbo Overdrive. Both of them slot keys and twist at the same time, and the elevator shoots upwards to the 2nd floor faster than a bullet train. They cart you into the med bay, spread you out on a table, and hook you up to a bunch of different weird, retro-futuristic sci-fi medical contraptions, Mouse. And eventually they completely submerse you in what is essentially a Star Wars back-to-tank. It's one of those classic big med bay liquid glass cylinders full of green, slightly viscous goo. And they plop you into one of those, hooked up to a bunch of different electrodes and IV drips. And you feel...
I am just like Goku.
And Mouse is safe. You have saved a character who hit a death save.
Let's
Oh
go.
my god.
Told you he'd be okay.
It was so disheartening to make the backup character for this in preparation to the session, not knowing what was going to happen to me.
I will say, the death save has about a 50% chance you just straight up die. One of them permanently comatoses you for the foreseeable future, and one of them is like slightly better. but your odds of hitting the one that give you 5 rounds until you die were pretty low. So it doesn't feel like too big of a cop-out as the GM, though this is secretly what I wanted because I really liked Mouse.
This game is so fucked.
Yeah. So Mouse, alive, stable, hooked up to a heartbeat monitor. Beep, 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 beep. And after a while, I think all of you filter into the med bay to check on Mouse's condition after Toadvine is done cleaning up the carpet. And 82, I'm sure you're eager to check up on Mouse.
82 had to take her union bathroom break. She gets upset that the humans get to take a break from their job to use the bathroom, and she doesn't. So she goes and stands outside for a bit.
And she puts an unlit cigarette in her mouth.
She's like, this is what they're probably doing in the bathroom, correct? Okay, yeah, I would like to go to Mouse.
Cool. The last thing is Richard Fuchs. Richard Fuchs, what do you think you do after this pandemonium?
I think he is furious that something like this was allowed to happen, especially in his compartment, the most important person on this sub. And so I think he just starts being really demanding and goes, "Excuse me, someone, please explain what happened. How did we let this happen? We need, as part of members of the team, nay, the family of Barnum Industries, we need to work together to make sure that travesties such as this don't occur when somebody's having their morning ritual and trying to get in the zone to make the company as much money as possible."
Hear, hear!
Is 82 in the room now?
Yeah, sure.
I think she wants to say, "Sir, it is 2:17 p.m.
Look, I do a lot of night trading, so I have an altered sleep schedule.
Is it like day trading? That's beautiful. Yes, of course, sir. I am so sorry.
I think a lot of your complaints are drowned out by hubbub in the med bay, because now there is not one, but 2 kind of high priority crew members who are currently either dead or on their deathbed receiving very priority treatment from many of the doctors. I think briefly, you catch the attention of a doctor running by. He goes, we're so sorry, sir. We'll look into it. We just kind of, our priorities are very much directed towards saving the life of the janitor. So if you don't mind, you're standing in front of the cabinet with the scalpel I need. If you could I'm just gonna try to.
Don't touch me.
I'm sorry.
Now I'll move because it's my idea. Okay.
Mr. Fuchs, the head of security on this shift is my direct supervisor, Trent. I suggest you consult him. I think that he has, if anyone has an idea of what's going on, it would be him.
Thank you, PP.
82 lets out a little chuckle.
Thank you. That is an excellent idea, PP. I will see that your name is put into the company raffle to receive a 10 credit gift card to Barnum Industries Incorporated. So you're welcome for that.
Thank you very much, sir. That will go a long way to ameliorating my 700,000 credit debt that keeps me bound here. Your generosity is appreciated.
And while I'm at it, can someone get me Dr. Shrew? I want to see what the progress is on, this whole Fiji situation. We really need to study this creature. It could be very lucrative for the company.
Of course, sir. You would like me to take you to Dr. Shrew?
Yes, please.
Right this way. And she's going to walk him over to Shrew's body. Here is Dr. Shrew.
You really only have to walk about 10 feet.
Yeah, exactly.
He's one bed over in
She's
the
like,
hospital.
"Oh, you want him? Here he is."
Yeah, you see the body of the previous lead scientist.
Oh, what? I'm sorry, what's happening on this ship right now? I'm out of commission for my standard 12 hours of sleep, and then everything goes upside down.
Dr. Shrew has passed away. And she starts to get, the short-circuity emotional again. But fear not, I am one of his employees and can perhaps answer your questions.
What's happening? Why did...
Calm down, 82. Hold on. I'm going to use a piece of my equipment here. 82. Just try to remember what happened. I'm going to access your visual feed using my Barnum brand heads-up display, a wonderful piece of technology that I use and every day. It helps me with my tasks. Just try to remember what happened, and I will watch it, and we can figure this out, okay?
Of course, PP. Is it like a VR headset that you put on 82?
I have a little like visor that comes down, and now I'm seeing out of your eyes.
Reed, do you want me to describe, or do you want to describe what 82 saw, or we just PP kind of just knows?
Is the heads-up display a piece of equipment that you kind of you rolled up and or started with?
Yeah, that came with my Marine class.
Incredible. You know, I like this. This is effectively just asking 82 to remember something, and because of the piece of equipment, I don't think a roll is necessary here. So 82, I can describe the scene again, or you can go ahead and describe what you remember.
I'll do it. You know how good I am at remembering things in games. So I think you tap into 82's visual feed, and you see it starts, I think, with you all walking down to the lab with Dr. Shrew's body, and 82. You don't know what really causes her to turn around. I'm assuming it is only the visual feed and not the audio feed.
I think I get audio as well.
Oh, okay. I was say, well, you can hear the noise that 82 heard, that drew her back to the lab. You see her make her way there, and the creature, of course, on the ground. 82 does proceed to put the creature back in the tank and try to have a little bit of playtime with it seems to you. She's tapping on the glass, she's giving it cake, she's, really trying to make it feel at home. And then somehow eventually it gets out of the tank again and goes into the vents. There's it's cutting in and out. You're like, okay, wait, now it's out of the tank. I thought she put it back into the tank. Okay, wait, and now, oh crap, okay, the vent's open. Is that,
The playback seems like it's a little bit corrupted.
I am sorry, PP. It has been a tough couple of minutes.
Don't worry, 82. I've determined, and Mr. Fuchs, I'm happy to tell you that we're all going to be safe before too long, because there's very little that can be done to hurt a corpse. There is a radioactive creature with unknown and perhaps supernatural capabilities running through the ship, rampant. It did this to Mouse. You'll note that in addition to some radiation burns, his arm's been eaten off, which means it's at least 3 or 4 times the size it was the last time we saw it. Mr. Fuchs, 82, and whoever doctors have the spine to do so, there is a weapons cabinet next to the mess hall. I suggest you come with me, and I will unlock it and distribute our Barnum brand firepower, and hopefully that will keep us safe. I've tried to radio the ship that's coming to pick us up, but who knows?
Excellent. Thank you for the synopsis, 82 PP. I think, as the chief executive on the ship, it is my duty to, of my own thoughts and volition, contact your supervisor, Trent, because I can't understand how he was able to allow something like this to happen. And I think Fuchs, he pulls up his walkie-talkie and just, Trent, come here, come over. Over.
Oh, that's too many.
Cool. You pull up your walkie-talkie and call for Trent. There is a long pause, longer than is reasonable for a security officer who is on shift.
This is Trent Wickham, Barnum's Chief of Security. What can I do you for?
Trent, I don't know if you're aware of the situation, but apparently Fiji is loose on the ship, and also there are hairy rat creatures falling from the ceiling. It's just chaos. Over.
Oh, man. Oh. Sir, let me tell you, I have been doing everything in my power for the last however long this has been transpiring to get the situation under control. You know that Fiji is my top priority as your chief security officer, and I will make sure that every man with a firearm and a spine is on duty hunting the thing down. Over.
As it well should be. But remember, we want Fiji intact because it is such a high value asset. So our mission should be to subdue Fiji, not to harm it. Okay? Very lucrative opportunity, and if anything happens to it, it will come out of your paycheck.
Understood, sir. One small caveat, the thing's quite radioactive. I don't know how our boys are going to be able to get their hands around the thing without, consequences, sir. Over.
Well, I've been reading in a recent leadership manual that it is actually healthy for a team to occasionally have a large amount of turnover in their workforce every once in a while. So, there you go. Over. Click.
Over and out, I guess.
Trent kind of hangs out. We cut to Trent in the security room, hastily putting away a GameCube controller, tucking it away into a desk, turning off Barnum Blaster 64.
Yeah, Mr. Fuchs, he's really a great security officer, especially now that he quit drinking.
Cool.
You can't hire any good help. Everyone's dependent on some sort of substances these days. Fuchs pulls out a bottle of pills that he has in his inventory and pops one.
Does it specify what they do?
So it specifies they're like radiation pills, which I think he still probably takes them. But I like to think that they're also, combined with some other sort of illicit substance.
Sure. That's actually incredibly useful for this campaign. I will take note that you've taken some anti-rads.
I do take a D5 worth of damage.
Whenever you take the pill?
Yeah.
What are they mixed with lead? Is that the anti-radiation capabilities that these pills have? They fill you with lead?
The autopsy on Dr. Shrew finishes, and a couple doctors turn around and go, the diagnosis is that he was eating a tomato off of a plate built in the 1700s. Cool. You take that D5 as you shoot up. All of you watch Richard Fucqs just fucking spasm a little bit.
These pills are crunchy. Very sweet, though. Nice.
Mr. Fuchs, are you eating a nail? What's going on?
Oh, it's nothing. It's just, company regulation substances to help me better deal with the possible impacts of Fiji. Nothing for you to worry about.
Thank God.
Cool. From here, I think we are going to hit a brief period of downtime as Mouse kind of recovers in his goo pot. I keep wanting to call it a back-to-tank because that's my Star Wars reference. It's not called that. I can't remember for the life of me what it's actually called. Oh, really important. Before this period begins, as you all take off to do whatever you want to do, a doctor comes up to your conversation as you're discussing amongst yourselves and says, we are not pleased to report this information, but the medical procedure that Mouse is currently undergoing to save his life is quite expensive. We just kind of assumed you wanted us to save his life, so that's what we did, but to save his life, we kind of had to use our best stuff. And you see he's kind of choking on his own words, kind of beating around the bush of the actual price tag of how much this surgery is going to cost you. It's going to run you about 17,000 credits.
That is okay. Just put it on the ship's tab, like the burritos.
I'm sorry, what? Sorry, that is not, it's not company regulation to put up, voluntary surgery. I would like to add.
Oh, fuck. Horrible.
Don't, Mr. Fuchs, don't worry. You can put it on my tab.
Okay, I'll
The
just.
debt tab.
He pulls out a little hand thing and then adds it on. It barely does anything to your debt.
There's a little screen built into the chest of my suit that displays the number, and it ticks down a little bit every hour. It goes up by 17,000.
There are a couple scientists who give solemn looks towards PP Cormac Toadvine as he volunteers to incur more debt on behalf of Barnum.
Every time I shoot a bullet, the number goes up by like 10.
That's so often. That's so frequent that you shoot.
Awesome. So, Mouse's medical procedure is going to take, we'll say, about 3 hours. During that time, you can do whatever you wish aboard the ship. I think Borb said he had interest in rallying a lot of men to go kind of arm themselves at a weapons locker.
That's mostly, I think, self-defense. So I'll show them where it is, but I will supervise the distribution of weapons. And if I have time after that, I'd like to try the radio again and see if I can hail the ship that's coming to pick up Fiji.
Love that. You make your way up to the master terminal, kind of pick up the ship's main transmitter. I like to imagine it's one of those radios that's attached to a cable that kind of comes down from the ceiling.
Yeah.
Looks a little bit like one of those... it kind of comes down from the ceiling like a periscope would.
Yeah.
You speak into it. What do you say? What do you transmit out to the incoming ship?
This is Private Cormac Toadvine. I am requesting immediate assistance, and I would like to speak with the captain. Over.
You actually do get a response after a moment's pause.
This is Captain Leon Rickham of the Parent Technologies Flight Corp. I read you. Do you copy?
Yeah, I copy. You gotta say over when you're done, otherwise I don't know when you're done talking. We've got a bit of an issue here. There's a radioactive creature killing crew members left and right, and it's not me this time, over.
Cool. Long pause, and then...
Did I hear you right? You said radioactive creature stampeding around the halls of the station, killing people left and right, over.
Yeah, except it's in the vents, over.
We'll be arriving in a couple hours, give or take 5 or 6, depending on the weather. Can you hold up till then? Over.
Well, we'll find out, won't we? Over. Wait, not over. Wait. You should be prepared when you arrive for the worst.
We've got some weapons, but I don't know that we'll be able to move every body off of that ship. You might want to start evacing through the submarines. Over.
There's something you should know about what else is on this ship. We have VIP cargo in the form of one Mr. Richard Fuchs. Over.
Another extended pause. He was definitely expecting you to say Fiji. Comes back over.
Understood. We will reserve a seat for Richard Fuchs aboard our aircraft. What of Fiji? Have you secured Fiji? Over.
No, that's the radioactive creature. I think that is also the radioactive creature that's killing people. Over.
Do what you can. Over.
I'm just gonna let it sit.
Okay, over and out.
As kind of the line goes dead. Sounds like they're going to be here about an hour or two after this downtime period ends with, it sounds like, a little bit of firepower and room to evac people. Mess. During this period, you're floating kind of in fetal position in the med pod. Oxygen mask hooked up to 2 different IVs, electrodes on different part of your head to monitor status. Seems like you lost a little bit of brain, but it's going to be okay because of science fiction technology. Floating here in this med pod, in this warm, calm, green, gooey stasis, you are reminded of your first moments of life. Being brought into the world as a test tube baby. And that scene we ran at the beginning while your life was flashing before your eyes. You feel almost as if you are being reborn. It's a similar feeling as to when you first experienced consciousness. Mouse, you also feel older. It was briefly brought up during the last session while you were getting blasted with radiation, but I'd like to call attention to it again. You see scientists are taking samples of your blood, hair, and DNA and running them through various tests, dipping them in different liquids and plugging results into certain computers. And you see that your genetic clock, you basically, your body has a couple different ways to signify how old it is when DNA samples are taken or blood is tested or certain things are dated. A lot of your DNA is dating as 2 years older than you actually are. Or maybe you actually are 2 years older.
Mouse reflects on that, realizing that theoretically, like best case scenario, if he does not die on this ship, he does only have 5 years left.
That kind of hits you, and as that realization washes over you, make an intellect check for me real quick.
Of course. This is not my strong suit, and I am still irradiated, so this is probably going to be a failure. Oh, a success with a 14.
Hey, nice. You begin to play back that frightening moment in the vents over and over again. The creature abandoned you because you were making noise. It seemed to flee because something about the loud, very identifiable sound blasting out of the vents was disturbing it. You also faintly remember the direction you saw the creature heading as it fled your body. You remember it was moving up somewhere, kind of a similar reading that Sid got. Somewhere northeast, floor 1, towards Barnum Mega Lab, storage, air filtration, maybe a master terminal. And that kind of the successful intellect check and your reflecting on that moment gives you that insight as to where the creature may have headed.
Okay.
There isn't a lot more you can physically do during this time while recovering, but if there's anything you'd like to mentally do, you could pitch it to me.
Do my comm systems still work while I'm in the goop? Like, can I talk to somebody?
I think on hour 3, you're feeling okay enough to request a phone call. Yeah, sure.
I think in this moment, Mouse wants to talk to
Miss 82.
Yes. Hello, Mouse.
Over.
How are you feeling? Oh, yes. Over. Wait, no, not over. How are you feeling? Over.
Over. I feel you are my best friend, I feel.
That is how you are feeling? Over.
You cannot talk while I am doing a comm.
No,
Over.
it's too bad.
That's not how walkie-talkies work. Over. I did not hear that. Over. I did give you my mop. And I also... Pretty scary what happened, huh? Right? Over.
Yes, it is quite scary. Over.
So I am to feel in this moment where something so vital as my life could have been stripped away from me. And I thought I should deliver my last will and testament. Over.
To me? Over.
I have no other friends besides you and PP and my angel of music. Over.
I'm sorry, Mouse. I am not quite familiar with that crew member, but perhaps we can revisit that part. Over.
In defense, I have a area of conjoining airways. I call it my den. It is where I keep all of my treasures. If I am to either through natural means or due to Fiji pass, I would like to give them to you. The items in my den. Over.
Mouse, I do not know what to say, but yes, I will take care of your items. Over.
Also, if you could you ask the doctor if there is any way I can get my arm back? A mop is a two-handed instrument. And without my other hand, I have lost my purpose. Over.
Yes, of course, Mouse. I will head to the med bay. Well, actually, I don't know. Am I in the med bay right now? Are we on the phone in the same room?
Honestly, you could have walked there at this point. You can be anywhere.
I'm gonna be just a little further away so that we can be using the comms and have it not be weird.
That's very human of you.
Thank you. Yes, of course, Mouse. I will go to the doctor at once. Over and out.
Awesome. Over.
Are we? You did not say over and out. Okay, and out.
And I think with that, 82, we can start your little activities during this brief recession. And scene 1 can be you going to the doctor and seeing about the arm thing.
I was going to say, I guess I'm going to go to the doctor and ask about Mouse's arm.
Well, you briefly pop in. Doctor goes, yeah, we could. It will be a lot more money. So we kind of held off on the arm replacement until we got explicit consent.
82, come in. Tell them that my arm is much smaller than the average man's. Over.
This is quite a good point, Mouse. Over and out for a minute. Doctor, might you consider that Mouse's arm is quite smaller than an average human arm?
Guess I hadn't. Might run you
well,
200.
Because you cannot give him a real human arm because that would look quite absurd.
No, it would look frightening. I guess I hadn't considered that. But also, we would need to invent new technology to make a prosthetic arm of the size and proportions necessary to fit him.
I think you do not, Doctor. I am quite familiar with this technology, and you can simply make it smaller.
Well, shit.
She's gonna really try. I don't know if that's true in this game, but she's gonna tell him that.
This doctor pretty confident in the thing he just says. Goes, well, damn. I guess if you know what's up, you can make him one.
Oh yes, of course. I probably can make Mouse an arm. Yes, I don't know why I did not consider this before. She's gonna end her sentence with over. She's like, wait, no, we're not on the walkies.
You get a confused look.
Yeah.
So normally, prosthetic arm replacement would run you 2,000 credits. If you want to fuck around with some medical lab equipment here to make that cheaper and invent kind of proportionately correct prosthetic for him, this could be an intellect roll.
I'll make it intellect roll. Could this be either a computer or a math skill? Because I would say probably maybe math, because I have to do the math about how big his arm is.
Yeah, sure. I think math checks out for making measurements and...
I'm like doing CAD. I mean, math and computers I get the same bonus from, so we can say it's somewhere in between the two.
Sure.
I succeed!
Cool.
Thank you, Mothership companion app. Ding!
Certified by Sid. With some finagling and computer prowess, you are able to take a prosthetic arm, modify it to save some of the components, and we'll say you shear 1,000 credits off the price. So the doctor walks up to you and goes, wow, very impressive. Where would you like the 1,000 credit charge to be directed to?
Is Fucks still in the room?
I think Fucks is gone.
You can put it on the ship's tab. Or like, which this is me speaking, I don't remember which tab we put the burritos on, but that's the tab 82 wants them to put. She's like, that's like, I think 82 doesn't understand the concept of money because she doesn't need to really. So she's just like, yeah, like just fucking put it wherever. I don't care.
Sure. Yeah, you can charge the ship's tab because we're in kind of a mini adventure scenario and debt and finances aren't something I want to rigorously track. You can, it's not legal. Whether or not you know that is up to you.
No, I don't think she cares. No, I don't know if she knows, and I don't think she would care if she did.
Awesome.
She's just like, yeah, that's like where you that's where the money things go. They go on the ship tab, or they go on PP's tab, but he did the last one, so I guess I'll handle this one by putting it on the ship's tab.
Cool. You put it on the ship's tab using the login information that Dr. Shrew gave you, and maybe not his brightest moment.
You know how some people just write their passwords down on a sticky note and then put it on their computer? That's kind of what he was doing. He was like, well, 82 has no use for it, but I need something to help me remember it, so I'm just going to tell it to her. For sure. Cool. A prosthetic arm of appropriate mouse size is thrown into the MedPod goo. Woo! Oh.
Ugh.
As it clicks into place.
Thank you very much, Doctor. That looks much better. Come in, Mouse.
Mouse here. Thanks, boss.
You are so welcome. Over and out.
And finally, Richard Fuchs. After this whirlwind of a morning/afternoon, where do you find yourself in the coming hours?
I think first thing, he goes back to his rooms, calls a janitor, but maybe an auxiliary janitor after realizing that the main janitor is...
The door opens, a soaking wet mouse covered in gel walks in.
What happens to be the problem?
It is so fast.
You hear a loud metal pounding on your door that is now locked from the inside as multiple doctors are trying to catch up and restrain Mouse to finish his medical treatment. Boom, 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 boom.
You just clean this up really quick. It seems like they need you, but I just really need the blood cleaned up.
For my angel of music.
And Mouse goes to clutch your hands.
Anything.
You're dismissed, actually. It's fine. Go.
I got it. This is sort of my whole deal.
You hear muffled voices.
I have a key somewhere. I have a key. I think it's back here. Oh, no, he wanted his locks changed so vagrants couldn't get in. It's a different key.
Mouse, so fast, starts to clean not only the mess, but the entirety of the room.
No check necessary for this. I don't think there's a world where there's fallout or stress incurred from cleaning a room. However, I do wish to ask, in your slimy, gooey, still a little bloody state, do you actually make the room cleaner?
Somehow, yes.
It's miraculous what you watch happen, Richard Fuchs. Truly a miracle worker.
He has just kind of like a shocked expression on his face and goes, wow, good job. I'll put a note in that in your employee profile that you are very responsive in, even in times of great personal strife. So, okay, chop, goodbye.
Goodbye.
As Mouse turns, he flashes his ass because he's in a hospital gown, and he walks out of the room.
You are immediately scooped up by two scientists, and they sprint back towards the med bay. A full dead sprint. This was hour 2 of your medical procedure. You're still kind of cut open in a couple important
no
places.
Arm.
I'm glad Mouse lived.
I think then Richard Fuchs sits down at his computer and then he updates his existing spreadsheet of people on the crew and what their lives are worth. He puts a little note next to Mouse's name that is actually it ups his social credit score rating. And he's doing a bunch of work to update and maintain this spreadsheet. He gets a pop-up of an extra 2,000 credits that's been charged to the ship and goes, weird. What's that about? I'll deal with that later. I'll make a note of it.
Let it be known it's only 1,000.
Okay. And then I think because Fiji is so vital and a large amount of money, he goes and I think he does a little bit of work to try and track like where the hell this thing went.
How do you think you go about doing that? Is it via a console? Are you physically exploring the sub?
No shot I'm physically exploring. I think maybe looking through all of the cameras on the ship.
Love that. You hit a couple buttons near your console's AI, and all of the screens that are displaying live camera feeds from your luxury suites on multiple different planets flash to different camera replay footage.
Do I need to make any kind of roll?
I think for the surface level information, no. I think you're able to discern what happened in the special projects unit. You see 82 tapping on the glass of Fiji and feeding it a little bit of cake. You see Fiji, after everyone leaves the room, you see an interesting couple seconds of video where seemingly Fiji brings itself back down into consciousness the second it is alone with itself in the room, and throws itself out of the tank onto the floor and begins intentionally moving towards an air vent. That wet plap is what alerted 82 to circle back and come back into the room. The second that another person re-entered the room, the creature seemed to intentionally start acting stupider.
Interesting.
It was making a beeline for an air vent, and when the door opened, it started just laying like a dead fish on the ground. And when it was thrown back in, you see a couple seconds of 82 throwing cake at it, playing with it. And you also see in the corner of the room the Geiger counter doing crazy bullshit as 82 is playing with this creature. As an android, 82 wasn't affected. You were also able to discern that the creature seems to be able to willfully modulate the amount of radiation coming off of it in a given moment.
I think seeing that, Fuchs is gonna pop another pill. Bit of damage. Ow. Also worth noting, when Mouse came in to clean the room and clasped him by the hands, he did take a point of stress.
Final thing you see on the camera feed before I'm going to make you make any rolls to get deep into a database somewhere is that when 82 sends, I believe we named him Paul, into the room in a rad suit to investigate Fiji's situation, Fiji was halfway through another beeline to the vent when Paul walked in. When Paul walked in, Fiji was large and its skin looked kind of bursting at the seams. The second it saw Paul, bursting out of the skin like a bug molting out of a previous form and into a larger one, the adolescent version of Fiji hatched from the young version of Fiji, shedding behind that skin as a molt. And this new adolescent version of Fiji was able to puncture the rad suit with a sharp claw and then radiate Paul to death. It then scurried off into the vents.
I think Richard Fuchs throws up in his mouth a little bit, and then maybe goes to the rest of the group as the people he sees as the primary contacts for this situation, and relays the information to them. Over.
Are we on the call?
Did it look like it hurt? Over.
I think it was a very peaceful death, he says, looking at the camera, where Paul is very clearly going through a horrible eldritch demise.
Are we sure that he is dead? Over.
You look at the current camera feed of that room, and Paul's body is still laying there. He has started melting a little bit.
If he's not dead, we gotta get him out of there now.
Is he the one that was kind of racist towards me as an android earlier?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I think he was, yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't big on androids. You picked the asshole to go into the room, I think.
Oh, yes, I did. Well, I do not know, PP. Perhaps we should leave him there, just in case. Over.
Sounds good. Over.
Just looking over my personal value spreadsheet, because of the fact that he has taken a extended break, his value is actually dipped below the line, where I think we're okay to just leave him.
Sounds good. Over.
Yeah, you bump him down 3 tiers on your human being tier list. You drop him from passable to disposable. Finally, kind of capping off this period, Fuchs, you do have access to company files and various documents. You logging into the wider server would leave a footprint, and you're not necessarily allowed access to everything on Barnum's servers, but you could make a roll to dig a little deeper if you pleased.
I think so. I think he resents the fact that he doesn't have full access to everything that he wants.
Incredible. Yeah, you come up against kind of a password wall that it seems to be intentionally trying to firewall you out.
If it's a password roll, could I use linguistics?
Yeah, sure.
Oh God, I'm in a horror movie, but I only have a psychology degree.
The skills in Mothership are very funny.
Success.
On a success, you are able to blow past a couple passwords using some linguistics knowledge, and also being kind of aware that even at higher levels of the bureaucracy, sometimes the same few passwords will get recycled for different things. And you go through like 5 or 6 of the passwords you're familiar with, and one of them gives you full access. You find a couple things that you already know about Fiji. For example, you bump into the top secret information that you're already familiar with, which is that Fiji is not a naturally occurring piece of fauna, but in fact an escaped experiment from another lab owned by Apparent Technologies. And that the reason such a high million credit priority has been put on recovering it is that it would be a PR nightmare if it went out and caused any damage elsewhere. It would be even worse if a rival company nabbed it and discerned what P-Tech was trying to do with this thing. You knew this already, but you find it popping up again and again in a lot of documents locked behind pass walls. You also encounter a very juicy looking document that it really specifies over and over and over again you should not be reading. You keep getting pop-up notifications on your console telling you to click out, and you keep Xing out of them as you keep reading the document.
It's Clippy. It looks like you're accessing restricted information. You might want to consider logging out.
Your AI in your room is going, "Sir, I'm not sure if I would advise perusing those folders. It seems as though the multiple password walls were perhaps to keep you from..." And then you kind of power off the AI assistant.
Mute AI. Yeah.
You find a research log from the now defunct lab that Fiji was conceived in. The purpose of the Fiji experiment was to attempt to create a creature that could modulate its age at will. This would have been to create a revolutionary piece of biotech that would effectively be a surgery to make oneself immortal. Because if they could unlock how to modulate this creature's age, they could then attempt to make that a piece of biotech that could be installed in humans. And then if a human can decide which way they're aging in any given moment, people could theoretically stay in their prime or at their perfect age as long as they wanted to. It would have been a crazy, massive, huge breakthrough for technology universally. It wasn't just like, oh, this is a cool submarine blueprint. This was the next wave of P-Tech, and they were at the cutting edge of it. The problem is, it worked. That was the problem. They accidentally also gave the creature the ability to modulate in a small area around it, fuck with DNA in a way that rapidly aged or de-aged other individuals. The unique radiation that it's able to create with some like weird fucked up hormones that release chemicals in its body, that radiation hits everything around it while it's aging one way or the other. Because of that, it aged most of the scientists in the original lab it was in to death by old age. And it was able to then escape. It also notes in the research logs that there were some scientists on the younger side who were found as infants.
What?
And were aged down.
They're babies.
Fiji is noted as not being an incredibly intimidating physical threat. It has very okay, like, it can puncture thicker material, but the real threat is its ability to rapidly fuck with DNA and the age of surrounding organisms. The reason that Parental Technologies is telling the Barnum Station to not kill this thing is they cracked it. They figured out how to give an organism the ability to modulate its age at will. So giving this thing back to P-Tech would make them billions, trillions of credits. This thing is worth way more than the million credit payouts they're giving your ship. That hits you in a couple different waves of fear and excitement. The first one is, oh my god, this thing could make me die as an old man very quickly. The second wave is, wait a minute, they're fucking shorting us on the bounty they put on this monster's head. And the third is, wait a minute, we could ask for way more money if we caught this thing alive. Finally, the console itself completely bricks and kicks you out of accessing any further information, as it seems a moderator has removed some kind of like admin privilege you have access to.
I think Fuchs just goes, those bastards, and they broke my freaking computer. Ugh, and he storms out, and just in the hallway, he's like, excuse me, I needed a computer right now. I need to write an email.
Computers aren't super portable, but you're led to like a console that's like stuck into the wall of one of the labs. What email do you furiously type up, and who do you send it to?
He is writing an email that is directed to the executives at Parent Tech, being like, it has come to my attention that the financial benefit of capturing Fiji is actually much greater than the prospective payout to my team, and I would like it to just be known that we would appreciate an increased financial benefit from all of the danger that this poses. I think it would be good for the team's synergy to see a cross-team large payout, but of course, it could also be very beneficial for the team's morale as a whole if the chief corporate representative received the majority or the sole amount of said payout.
Man, fuck you.
Such a shitter.
Cool. And with that, I think that will conclude this period of downtime. I think Mouse is let out of the med pod, semi-fully recovered. Mouse, you can heal all your wounds, set your hit points back to maximum. However, because you have just come off the tail of an incredibly elaborate medical procedure, there are some slight physical tolls this has taken on your body. You have disadvantage on all rolls for 2 weeks.
Awesome.
Oh, Christ.
Unless you would
That's great.
Unless you would otherwise incur advantage on them, then you can roll flat.
Sweet. No, awesome. Do I get rid of like my hand, foot severed, and lots of blood?
Yes.
Okay.
Conditions cleared, arm back.
And as for my irradiation,
they have given you some of those anti-rad pills that Colton has been ingesting probably too rapidly. And that clears up your radiation condition temporarily.
nice.
Oh, yes, my speed is back to 41.
As our period of downtime ends and Mouse leaves his med pod feeling woozy, but physically relatively put back together, do you reconvene anywhere specific? Are you all there to greet Mouse when he gets out of the pod for the first time?
Yes, I think we're all outside the med bay with little signs. Let's
Yeah.
say, like, welcome home, Mouse, for some reason.
82 is there a printer on this ship?
I have made these signs myself, PP.
Listen,
All of Mouse's hair is completely matted down. He's still completely covered in gel.
I have a score to settle.
Take it easy, buddy.
Fiji goes down.
What?
Okay, let's get to work. I guess.
As Mouse makes that dramatic declaration of vengeance against Fiji, I have bad news to end the session on. Would everybody here please make a body save for me?
Oh, wah,
Oh,
wah.
Oh my gosh.
The only thing that makes this body save, which is so tragic, not sting so much, is that it's just incredibly easy to do in the app.
Does radiation also apply to saves?
It does.
Okay, cool.
I
need to
super
bump these up.
failed.
Is this a would you call this a military or perhaps industrial?
No.
What about hacking, perhaps?
And do I have disadvantage on this?
Would you say this is a linguistics body save?
Yes, you do have disadvantage on this, Mouse. 82, no, I'm sorry.
I have failed.
I exactly failed.
Failed as well, believe it or not.
That is 4 fails from every member of our party.
It's
But
fine.
wait, I am to exact vengeance. Stop. Wait.
The 4 of you feel strange. As you all are gathered here in the hallway, you hear a distant whirring of air conditioning pumping up in intensity. You hear just kind of distant sound of like a hum of a fan going a little bit faster. And at the same time, you all feel a little bit different. Mouse, you recognize this feeling. It's not as intense as the radiation before, but you feel the tips of your mouse hairs beginning to gray slightly.
Wait, does 82 also feel this?
82 actually doesn't. That's an excellent point. Despite failing your save, you are okay being an android. Richard Fuchs and PP Cormac Toadvine, will you each roll a d6 for me? As well as Mouse.
You'll probably be fine this time.
Yeah, actually. I think you get immunity.
I actually don't know if there's a d6 in the Mothership Companion.
God. Cut this. No slander allowed.
Okay.
I rolled a 4.
5.
I rolled a 3.
We're gonna go around one at a time. Mouse, you said you hit a 4?
4.
Mouse, as you valiantly declare vengeance against Fiji, you kind of put your foot down with a stomp to emphasize your point, and you feel a pop and crack in your hip as you throw it out.
Oh, that is not good. Ooh, somebody get me a hot heating pad.
PP Cormac.
Can I get some hot and cold?
PP Cormac Toadvine, what did you roll?
I rolled a 5.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
Oh, Christ.
Will you make another body save for me?
Yeah,
Oh, you'll be fine.
I failed once again.
Oh no. Okay.
You age a billion years.
We'll get back to what happens to you in a
You're
second.
oil now.
Richard Fuchs, what did you roll?
I rolled a 3.
Richard Fuchs, your hands begin to shake a little bit violently, and you feel that your access to basic motor skills and fine precision with your hands is beginning to leave you.
Fuchs tries to pop another pill, but accidentally, drops all of them out of his container and goes to the ground, tries to pick them up.
And finally, ending off the session, as the AC unit whirs to life faster and faster, and you feel whatever this strange radiation or aging effect the creature has seems to be pumped through the entire ship at once. PP Cormac Toadvine, you begin to have a heart attack.
Oh, no!
Oh, no.
And that is where we're going to end today's session.
Oh, PP.
It's okay. My suit will, if I start to die before my debt is paid, my suit will automatically inject me with life-saving drugs.